Hey, you all heard that too?
All right. Well, good evening. We'll call
That's
them.
Wendy Hopkins.
Oh.
Oh, yay. Oh, cool.
Wendy.
Well, I'm listed as on.
Yeah.
Well, we can call the meeting to order. We have only one agenda item this evening, and that is to hear from Rena about her work in Pownell Center and at Center Street Park. So without further ado, we'll turn it over to Rena.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I wasn't expecting this setup. Sorry, can you just say your names? And well, I'm Rena. I know Jonathan, one of the Bryans, I'm assuming.
Brian Pappas, yes, with the Parks and Rec Committee.
Okay.
Jennifer.
Yes, Jennifer. And who's on the far?
I'm Megan Randall, and I'm not on this committee, but our commission.
Planning Commission.
You're on the planning commission, right? Okay.
I thought it'd be interesting to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to present. So just really quickly, in the past, let's see if I can share my screen. If not, I will have to figure something out, but okay, yeah, so host has disabled participant screen sharing. How do we work that?
I just changed it, so hopefully it should work now.
Okay, awesome. Oh, great. Thank you.
Hannah is our moderator, so she's able to.
Hannah. Awesome. Well, thank you all for being here, I guess, at 7. And yeah, I'll just start saying I'm Rena. I've been working with Jonathan for this past semester, and this has been through like a UVM internship program. And the title of it is like sustainable transportation, but it's kind of like sustainable like urban planning or just planning in general. Yeah, didn't really know exactly what I was getting into, but I've had an awesome time. And I decided to work on the Center of Pownell Revitalization Project. I came out for one day for around, like, I was probably on the site for 30 minutes. So you all probably have more actual experience, hopefully, than I do. So just something to keep in mind. And yeah, what we're looking at right now is, I guess, Pownell Center. This is when the town offices were being built. You all can see my mouse?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, and this is just from the website. It's a pretty picture. Yeah, let's jump in. So some visual context. This was more for me, as I've only been here once. So, you know, we have Center Street and the Pownell Skate Park. Oh wait, also, sorry, can you all see me moving, I guess, this thumbnail?
No.
No? Okay, good. They're like the Zoom thumbnail, but it's out of the way. So anyway, we know that Route 7 is a pretty busy highway, and we have Barber Pond right here, Parkview, and then there's also like Chipmunk Avenue. And yeah, that's just providing some visual context. Next. And then this is the actual site. So on your left, this is just from Google Maps or Google Earth. And on your right and also north is facing this way. So Massachusetts is over here. And then this is, you know, driving to Bennington over here. I, to scale, transferred it into a program called SketchUp. And it's just like a multi-use design software that I've been learning for the past semester. So that's like where the challenge came in for me, making these designs that I will be showing tonight. And all of this is to scale, and I will go through what each little circle and all of that is. But that's where I started. And then a little bit of context. So as you see, it says zip code 05261. This is from like oops. Census like .gov. They break it down between the zip code 05261 and 05260, which is a bit more north. So the numbers are a bit smaller, like total population. I know that it has about like 373 more people for all of Pownell. So these are some numbers that stuck out to me, and we can start with like the home ownership rate, for example. 92% versus just Vermont as a state is 73.7%. So more people are sticking around in Pownell. And then this is just fun. I put this in. Have any of you heard of the Cobb House in Pownell? Has anyone been? I don't know. I can't really see your faces, but it's in Pownell. I'm hoping to go.
Beautiful. You should go find it. It's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It's specifically an Airbnb. But
Yeah.
I'm just looking at like Pownell houses, and then I was like, wait, yeah, I just found this one. So, and then almost half of Pownell is like married couple family households. So these stats right here, they're just very telling that it's a very like family oriented town, and that's especially different, I would say, as to where I live in Burlington, which is more college residents. And it feels like a college town, and I would be designing for that. For this, I think I designed with a bit more of the children in mind. So yeah. Next. Hold on. For some reason, it looks like, my arrows are, okay, weird. Okay, so, and then built context. So with that in mind, there's the Pownell Elementary School, less than a mile away. And I was just thinking of what is around and who would be coming to the like Pownell Center. I know south you get into Massachusetts, and I don't know if a lot of people from Williamstown come up, but that could be something to think about. But yeah, I was designing more for people who will be biking and walking and the kiddos in the surrounding areas. So. Okay, and then also some historical context. So you all used to have a trolley. This is a colorized rendering photo. And I found this someone in town, I'm blanking on the name right now, but I think this is in one of the museums, and this was found from the Bennington Banner. But there was trolley service from 1907 to 1927, and it went from, if you can see on the right, from like Williamstown all the way up to Bennington. And before it was electrified, it was run by horses, and this is in North Adams as well. So the Bennington and Hoosick Valley Railway Company, there's like so much history out there about it. It seemed like they owned some of the trolleys, and then also like the Berkshire Street Railway Company. And then BCRC, they're taking this history and they're applying it to the trolley line path as well. And then the other thing that I wanted to keep in mind for historical context is just the population trend of Pownell, and that it has been like slightly decreasing. Nothing to be worried or concerned about, I'd say, but just something, as I don't live in Pownell, something for me to be aware of. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. So, and then the other context that I felt was really important is just like social context. I don't know if anyone has heard of the third place. This is a big term in like community development and in sociology. How very simply, you have your first place, second place, and third place. Your first place is your house. It's like your space, and then your second place is your work. And it's really important for people to have a third place, which is neither. And this usually ends up being a community space. It can be a church. At one point in America in like the 1990s and up until like 2010s, it was a lot of like malls. But we like retail's dying, so malls are like kind of weaning out as a third place. But one that will like always be around is green spaces, getting out into the environment, a classic one. And the person who coined it is Ray Oldenburg, coined it in 1989. He actually just passed away 2 years ago. And you may all have heard of like the phrase like home away from home. I grew up hearing that when I went to sleepaway camp. That's also like part of expressing this third place. And his book is all about how essentially any type of community space or community centers are really good for like the fabric of that community. So yeah.
It's a good book.
Oh yeah, did someone read it?
Yeah, I read it.
Oh, cool. That's
Back
awesome.
in the eighties.
What'd you say?
Back in the eighties, I read it.
That's
It's been
awesome.
going downhill ever since. Less and less of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like I mean I didn't read the whole book, but like there were some excerpts in some of my classes in the past, and it's something that totally has stuck out to me. And now when I go to different shops, I always wonder, I'm like, okay, so this is someone's first place, or sorry, second place, but most people's third places. Anyway, you see it, you can't unsee it. And then also, I would say in my design classes, when we have new designs, we like to come up with goals and objectives. So goals are just like broad scale things that we want to happen, and then objectives are more like numerical. So I procured like 4 different goals. While these may seem like a little simple, they also can be easy to forget. So first goal is activating public spaces. This is like another design term, but essentially, are people interacting with the ground, the walls, the spaces around them? Maybe you're going into a coffee shop, and instead of just like a regular wall, it's a chalkboard that people can write on. Or, for example, I love labyrinths, so this is fully just interacting with the ground. And something that I noticed when I was on the site was that it didn't feel like there were a lot of activated sites. And that was something that was missing and could be worked on. Yeah, and you all may have some of your own in Pownell. It can also just be going out into the woods and like interacting with the trees. That could work too. So my second goal is making this site more of a multi-generational use or friendly for multi-generations. I love that the skate park is there. However, it felt a little exclusive, and I just love the idea of playgrounds and play spaces for everyone, not just for kids. So this is just an example in Texas, San Antonio, Texas. AARP partnered with the Normoyle Park, and they made a senior citizen playground. But also just having activities that everyone can do, no matter their age, and also accessibility. Yeah. So that's also something. And then my third goal was making sure to promote social connection through the designs. This happened to be a bit of a contentious picture in the last time I presented this. I hope the London bus in the background does not fully distract or take away from I was trying to show this park bench. I think we're all very used to just straight lines, and that's great. But I really like this parametric park bench because like this woman right here, she can be in her own space, but also if someone sat right next to her, they could form a social bond. There's a bit more movement and dynamicism. Um, and then also, yes, even though this is like a rural community and this is not London, the space is right next to Route 7, which is loud. So actually maybe it's a little fitting that this bus is rushing by in the back. But yeah. And then my last goal is design for and with the residents. And this is more of a future goal. Hard to tackle everything in one semester, but I think it's definitely important, like making sure to figure out exactly what people want, you know, like surveying. And one great example is this nonprofit organization in Colorado. It's called Growing Up Boulder. This is Mara Mincer right here. She has a great TED Talk about how, this nonprofit organization, they pretty much consult children. They go into schools and they go into different like public spaces and they ask the kids what they want, and they've made some really cool like actual parks in Boulder, but this also could be making a map. Boulder's like more of a city, but like a kid-friendly map. They also have like a teen-friendly one. Making sure it's accessible for like other ages other than like adults. And I think whenever I feel a little stuck creatively, I just like try to remember like what would I want if I were a kid. And that's where like that playfulness comes back in. So yeah, I think it'd be really cool to ask maybe the elementary school kids who are just 0.7 miles away and who will probably walk to this space, what do they want? What could they see there? Yeah.
With the new survey, do you have a plan for asking the kids?
Yes.
Great.
That is a great question. I think if if this internship was like extended into the fall, or even the summer, I mean, I can just like tell you some of the questions I would ask right now, but I personally haven't made a survey. Um, I think I would sit down with like each grade and I would give them a pen and paper and a bunch of like crayons and say like, what do you want in a park? And then I think we would have like those discussions. It might be hard to get like actual like quantifiable data from that. But that's also like part of it. And like for example, even in this picture, it's like these are trees. Like, yeah, that's probably plausible, but this like funky structure, I don't really know what that is. Like some kid will probably be like, you know, I want a flying spaceship. Maybe I would create a like playground that has that theme. So yeah, I think I linked in the all the way at the end, Growing Up Boulder sites, and they have some great resources of how to like interact with asking kids. So you still like you can still have you can still get something out of that experience as well, when designing. So, and then these are the objectives. So one, just provide like one direct access point to this green space. It's like right next to Route 7. There's like contextually, there's just no crosswalk. Um, and then provide space for community gardening. I noticed that there was a pollinator garden. That's awesome. It's like right next to the road. But just having a little bit more, that'd be cool. And then again, that multi-generational activities. And then the left one was more for me, just researching about ADA accessible structures and how to have those in place. I haven't really done that in my other classes. So, and that's is also just important. Yeah. And then this was just some inspiration that this is like, yeah, where my ideas are coming from. So referring back to that trolley, this this is a trolley diner in Mount Airy, which is like Philadelphia, where I'm from, and unfortunately just closed. But I really like the idea of using an old trolley car as something other than what it once was. And then also just like having the making sure that these activities have longevity. It looks like a classic table tennis structure, but it's like made out of concrete, it's hard to move, and it's weather resistant. Yeah, and then also providing maybe like non-movement activities as well, like chess. And then we got the labyrinth. And then also, I didn't really see any type of like places where the public could gather in Pownell. I may have totally missed that, but there is a gradient on the site, and that'd be cool to just like have like a grass amphitheater, which I put in as well. So this was the first part of the design concept. Just for context, I met with some BCRC people 2 weeks ago, and we just went over what I had in mind, and it was more like a feedback session before I really put things down into place. So the main part of like the program was to keep the garden labyrinth, have an area for table tennis and chess, have the basketball court, the trolley car library, and a grilling and picnic area. You may note that there is no skate park in this. I took it out, but upon further conversations, um, I think it's really important that it stays in there. When I went, there was like no one on the site, but as it's warming up, and Jonathan has been keeping me updated, saying like, "Hey, I see skateboarders today," and this is all good to know that like the skateboard park should stay. Yeah. And then the one other takeaway from that meeting was making sure that like my audience knew where I was placing everything according to like I call like the sound gradient and the sun gradient. So the sun is south facing from here, and it's going to be the most extreme here. And then there will be shadows here, like when the sun sets. And then Route 7 can get pretty loud, and then it's within this area. It's up to like the designer of how like you want sound to travel and where. So I want to like initially I was thinking the labyrinth would be over here. But then it didn't really seem like that was the best place, because it actually seems like it'd be quieter over here, because this is more people are like would be walking in here, and people would be driving over here. So yeah, I'm glad that that meeting happened, and then it led to this as the final just like concept map. So as you see, I kept the labyrinth, but I put it over here more in the south facing, and then we have the trolley car library. And then the table tennis and chess area is more dispersed. You'll see like in the pictures I've rendered. And then we have the skate park, the terraced amphitheater, and then the grilling and picnic area I moved over here. So sound wise, it'd be the quietest up here and then the noisiest over here. And then this is all a bit more variable, depending on if someone wants to have a party or, I don't know, set up a little stage. Yeah. And then this is the plan view with the actual structures on it. Just so you know, these little lines within SketchUp, I used like there's options for trees and they just look a little funky from above. But I just wanted to make sure that like the trees stayed in there for visual reference. Sorry, what'd you say?
It's a sound buffer.
Yes,
Trees.
yes, it is 100% a sound buffer as well. And it also seems like it's become a bit of like a constructed wetland of sorts because it dips. So I think it's important to keep the trees there. Yeah, and then this one tree actually like seems like it's pretty big. This is like right here, like 25 feet in diameter, but it provides a good amount of shade. So let's jump into the fun part, the design pictures. So first we're gonna start with the trolley library. Pretty proud of this one. And I would love, if there's one thing, I would love to see this be put there. But yeah, there isn't really like a library nearby walking distance from the elementary school, it seems like. So I just yeah, I designed one. I made sure that there was a ramp for ADA accessibility. It can't be more than an 8.5 gradient. So this is about like, oh, and also I put the dimensions on another slide, but I know I went through it pretty fast. So this is about like 40 feet this way and 20 feet this way. A trolley car is smaller than that. So I just like retrofitted it to a bigger size. And I made sure that like all the pretty much everywhere are windows. I think that's for like safety purposes. And also just making sure you can take in the view. So this is the front entrance. And then the back entrance is over here. You would go in from this side. And I kept the, sorry, I don't know if can I go back? Yeah. I kept the like Hoosac Valley Street Railway part and then put the panel center library here. And then this also, this is where you will be getting the most amount of sun as well. So just envision yourself sitting there basking. And also I think this can bring, talking about that activated site, I think this can bring people in the winter, which when we went, it was like starting to get a bit warm out. It was pretty cold that day, but yeah, I think it would help like bring people out of their homes, their first places, and into a third space, and then foster more of like a community. Oh. And then this is inside the trolley, or we'll start over here. This is someone reading their book. As you can see, there's like a woman walking in the background. She's like, she's walking through the labyrinth that I will show you. And also something interesting, I found this interesting for a trolley because it's still pretty small. I was like, well, where do we put all the books? So I thought like more of a wraparound bookshelf would be cool. As you can see on the top, it's on both sides, and then also on the bottom. And this would also be like more of a little free library, but just a big one. So, are you all familiar with little free libraries?
There is one at the park.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Where is that at the park, actually?
It's right next to the shed.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this could just be like one where you can sit and enjoy, as Jonathan said, the killer view of the mountains as well. So, and yeah, is there any I put these white squares. This is more like on trolleys. They have like advertisements. It could just be like a fun little thing to like have I don't know, like the nearby, I know the therapeutic massage place, they can have an advertisement there or something like that. And then there's the little like Pownell insignia over there. So that was, and a glass roof. This was very fun to design. Yeah, for like sun purposes. And then this, so if we were just right here, now we're like at more of the edge of the space. And this is like the community garden labyrinth. So I'm envisioning this would be like flowers and depends on how people would want to delineate it, but you could grow like food here. And this is about 50 feet in diameter, and then this is about like 2 feet across for walking in and out. So yeah, this would definitely be more of the quieter area. And then we have the chess area. So again, these are like concrete tables and chairs, more for well, anyone can play chess, but you know, I'm getting like the vision like Central Park or in like in where I'm from, in like in Philly, a lot of just like elderly men sit at the park and play chess, and it's just nice to see them out. And yeah, I could see my grandpa doing this. So and then this is the skate park. So this is dimension wise, this is 75 by 100 feet. And I don't know all the ramp terms, but like the half pipes and the rails, I made sure they were different sizes. So this right here is like about 5 feet. But this over here is about like 3 feet. So it can be for like kids and adults. And I made sure that like I don't know, I like skateboarded once, but once you're going down the ramp, it's hard to slow down, I guess. So just making sure that there's space all around to navigate through that place. And then we have like the table tennis tables over here. And let's see, here's some other views. Yeah, and this is like the bench that was in the inspiration slide. And you know, just like maybe parents are watching their kids, they need a place to sit. Yeah. And this material wise, I would say that like this is metal, these two are metal, but this is plywood as well. Oh. And then we have like the picnic table and campfire area. I know this man looks a little sad by himself, but the like SketchUp people, they're called, like all the people that you see, it's very fickle. And there weren't really any like sitting ones. I looked up people sitting, eating meals, and it just wasn't happening. So, but yeah, I wanted to he's like to scale, and I made sure that like he could get around everywhere on the site. So he has landed at this nice campfire. Oh, and this is near over here, the like amphitheater spot. So yeah, and also I forgot to mention this. So SketchUp, this program, it's hard to get the topography down. So this is all on like a pretty flat plane, but there is like a gradient right here. So this this amphitheater like could be moved, but just visually I put it right here. But you all would see as that is fit, and then keeping in mind that as the sun sets, there would be like shade from the building. Yeah. And then, okay, so that's like it for the green space. And I wanted to like make sure that just like to challenge myself, to take it a little bit step forward, think about how people are going to get to this site and design like I designed and proposed like 2 ways of how to get across Route 7. So just starting with Route 7, this is just from like VTrans data. It's very interesting. It only is from 6 a.m. To 4 p.m. I think. Did I do that right? I don't really know military time. But wait,
Five.
5 p.m. 5 p.m.
6
But and also I am noting that this is the most recent data is from 2017, but good amount of cars come by here. So I think there should be at least one crosswalk. I would say at least like 2 or 3 hitting like the main spots, like one closer to the elementary school, and then one where this skate park is. But just focusing right here, I like designed a crosswalk here. So the roadway concept number 1 is an RRFB, which is a rectangular rapid flashing beacon. You press a button, flashes, and then the cars know to slow down, and people can cross safely. My other concept was a pedestrian bridge. In retrospect, I know that this will not happen, but this was also part of the learning process. I love pedestrian bridges. I think they're so much fun. Who knew they were so expensive? So,
But we know.
yeah.
The second one is really pretty. I like it.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it's really pretty. Yeah.
Fits with the landscape.
So what'd you say?
It fits with the landscape.
Yeah, so these two, yeah, actually I mean I could talk about these two forever, but it was just interesting. So this in my mind would be really hard for someone in a wheelchair. This is more, and it's flat here, so it'd be like a huge hike up, but then like you're coasting here. And then this one is like a bit more of a climb throughout the whole way. So you'll see like I settled more on this type of bridge style. But yeah, it's totally not feasible. So um so essentially the crosswalk, the RRFB, I would suggest having one of these. According to like there's a big range of estimates of how much they cost, but the one that I settled on was from a VTrans report in 2020 called the Report on Shared Use Path and Sidewalk Costs. And all the fees, including construction and all of that, it averages out to around $10,000 for these. So
Lines on the road.
I know. Also, I will say I have never taken any economics courses. I'm very like, in my design classes, they're always like, don't think about the money. And so in my world, I don't know if this is a big number or sorry, a little number or a big number, for like development and, yeah, but it is smaller than this math I did.
That's steep.
For the pedestrian bridge. So, and this is probably more of a conservative estimate. But this was more of a practice and an exercise for me. So I made sure that like the bridge could fit the trucks and was also had that like accessibility piece to it. So it's at least 10 feet. And yeah, it is a steep price. Um, and yeah, wow, I kind of whizzed through that. That's kind of all I've got. those are just like purely like ideas and designs. Yeah, I would love to hear like comments and here I can, and yeah, like what also like what do you see here? This seems like this is more of just like the beginning steps as well of like revitalizing Pownell Center. So
We did a great job presenting it and a lot of work went into it. So great job overall.
thank you. Thank you.
The trolley idea is very creative.
Yeah, I think it's very creative and
Yeah.
we don't worry about money if you've got ideas.
Yeah. No, but that is great with the trolley library and some place for to get out of the weather and be inside and to.
Yeah,
It also could attract the elementary classes to have outings over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that also could attract, people traveling through the town to stop and check out the trolley library.
yeah,
And I really like your more peaceful idea also of the fire pit and the picnic tables and the amphitheater.
Yeah, the answer.
Good idea as well. Yeah.
Good idea.
yes.
I think we need a bike rack if we're gonna have a crosswalk.
We do have a bike rack down.
Oh, we do? Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. See how often I go down.
Rena, I was just gonna say that part of the municipal planning grant is seeking input from residents on their vision of what they'd like to see at the park.
Mm.
So I think it is, for me, it is very interesting and helpful to see these visual renderings. Because people have thrown out before, oh, we'd love to have a fire pit. We have heard amphitheater, in the past, or a stage, an area where someone could perform or, anything like that. So it is interesting to see the renderings. So yeah, I think it's great. And I do think that it is, the skate park is an important element to keep because it does provide alternative recreation and it's multi-generation use. I mean, if you come here, you will see a range of ages of people participating in the skate park. So I'm glad that you had the forethought to keep that in there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm grateful for that meeting where like they're like, you gotta keep it. And I was like, oh, totally. Like that is heard. Yeah.
Seems like there was a piebald robin that has a lot of support from an expanded pollinator garden. It just followed pollinator garden right before this meeting began.
Yeah.
A very light colored robin has made a home there. And we're seeing here and as a home,
Almost out by.
There's a home on the street.
just on the street, been there for a couple of years though.
This is the second year that I've seen it, so it came back.
Yeah.
Rita, the trees in the background,
Yeah.
look much more manicured than was actually there. But you really inspired me. I think we could plant some, more conifers and clean out underneath.
Yeah.
It could be, maybe trees aren't that much money.
Yeah. I think
You can get them free sometimes.
I think that the ideas that have come to fruition that are currently at the park were things that we could put into place quickly to garner support and also in a temporary way, a lot of things that you notice because the idea was to build on that enthusiasm and to see through what's going on now with the municipal planning grant to get a more thoughtful survey and to ensure that what is at the park is what residents want to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely I like made sure that even though I wasn't like going down the whole like finance route, that it was like I tried to keep finances in mind, so yeah.
Great.
I think you did a great job.
Yeah, it was really, really great. I love to see other people's visions.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Space that, I think it's the whole impact of diversity, right? A diverse view of the space. So
I think that's the guy from the Giving Tree. I think it's the guy from the end of the Giving Tree. that's the stump he was sitting on just next to it.
They have some pretty like weird like figures and people, I guess, on the it's called the warehouse where you like get all the little people and some of the benches. Yeah, so
Honestly,
Fair.
since our chance to have that conversation didn't include any of this rendering, it's remarkable to see just from the sort of the specifics of the trolley and the labyrinth in this image here, the others, just what an immense amount of work he put into that since the last 2 weeks ago when we spoke. So I really,
Yeah.
even down to thinking about where the books might be placed, and it's really, really appreciative of that. And I'm glad we had the opportunity to, one, get you to come see Pownell and to have a chance to walk here and see what's here and to think through about what else could be. It was really great to see a lot of that illustrative design elements tonight.
I love the idea of bringing the history. I mean, if we could get
Yeah.
that trail, the trolley trail,
Yes.
bring the history down here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be really.
yeah, it's a great idea.
What if we could get an old trolley?
I know. No,
That's
even cooler.
Really?
There's a few of the Bennington station, the old depot, that are just kind of, I mean, they're.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's options, right? There's always a
Yeah.
place to begin.
that would be so cool. That would be awesome. I actually didn't even think about that if there were so there are trolleys like in Bennington that are just sitting there.
But some rail cars.
Rail cars.
Some rail cars, but there's also, I mean, trolleys occasionally. Worcester used to manufacture them. So, I mean, I think like New England has a share of an upside share of them here and there. But anyways,
But talk about something that crosses generations. I mean, even children,
Yeah.
adults, elderly adults, everybody uses
Yep.
trolleys.
Well,
Everybody
in,
loves a trolley.
there's in Massapoca, there's a trolley up on the roof, right? Isn't that a trolley?
it could be on
It's
loan
full
for.
of all kinds of really crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's suspended, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not, it's just up there and you walk into it.
Yeah, you walk into it. Yeah.
Suspended?
I don't,
Well,
I thought that's just the trees.
it's a loft.
Where is that? What is this?
in
The
Massapequa, in North Adams, just the town just east of Williamstown.
You've never been to Massapoca? You should really go down.
Yeah.
no.
You love it.
Okay, I'm gonna look up suspended
It's an
trolley.
old factory that's been converted to a contemporary art museum. And
Cool.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful use of the building.
Thank you for working in the town of Pownell's, like.
Yeah, logo.
So logo.
Over there. That was like really.
Yeah, you're welcome. That was actually a lot. It was kind of hard to do, but I was like, this has to be in here. So I think the saying I'm blanking. It's the beginning of Vermont. What's the town's
Gateway to Vermont.
gateway to Vermont? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, it's too fitting. I can't leave it out.
All right, Hannah, can you see if we do have public comment on the agenda, if anyone is there, if they have any public comment? I don't know if anyone's there.
Mama Duck.
We have a couple people in, but no hands are up.
Okay. Well, with that, I want to thank Rena for your time and your efforts with respect to our Center Street Park and the time you spent here. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Ryan,
I take a motion to adjourn.
all right, second, anyone?
I'm not in your.
That's okay.
Second.
Second. We'll adjourn. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a great career ahead of you.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said you have a great career ahead of you.
Oh, thank you.
It is coming.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, thank you so much. Jonathan, I will just, I guess, text you after for.
And please send along a copy of this as well. 'cause we-
Yeah, if you send this along, that'd be great to get a copy of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, and also at the end I put other like useful resources.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So sorry, just really, even though you just like adjourned, am I allowed to?
That's okay.
Okay.
It wasn't official.
Okay.
I didn't know officially. So I just wanted to highlight the first one. This was like, I just found this the other day. OC Ramps, they're like a skateboarding ramp company, and they actually made like it's in Missouri, Melissa, Missouri, it's called. They just made like a small town skate park. And it just happened to be like similar to the dimensions that I did. So yeah, it kind of looks the same. But it has really good plan views, and also Growing Up Boulder is listed, and yeah, just like other, I guess, resources.
Great.
Thanks.
We'll send that
If you have any
around.
questions, please like reach out, and yeah, I don't know. So
So for you, Rena's contact info for?
Yes, I have her. card. Yep. we're
Okay.
All set. Great. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Good night.